Our next storytellers are back for a second year. Last year, who remembers Devin and AJ? All right. So last year, we tried a little experiment. AJ said to me, hey, Matt, Devin really wants to speak. And I said, great. Let's give him a microphone and let's get him up here and let's do this. And we kind of looked at each other and kind of looked and said, well, it's either going to go amazing or it's going to be pretty interesting. Devin rocked it. I mean, he got up here and he told his story and he shared his art. And since they left this stage last year, a lot has happened in their lives. Really exciting stuff. So for the first time, we're going to bring back some storytellers for an update, tell you what they've been up to. And then I think Devin's going to show you guys some more art. So we're going to show you a quick video for those of you that weren't here last year, just as some context. And then AJ is going to come out and tell us what they've been up to.
So many conferences are based around the idea of stand and deliver, where the speaker does what they've prepared, regardless of the audience. Here, this is totally different. People come up and you can see them actually undergo a kind of transformation through speaking to other people about things that most of them have never talked about before.
I'm really excited about AJ and Devin coming up here and sharing their experience of living with autism and the healing power of art.
I had been thinking for a long time about getting Devin on stage and letting him talk about his work.
Yes.
And show his art, because he doesn't speak very well.
Speak?
Yeah, you have a hard time speaking, don't you?
My name is Devin. I like art. I am drawing, coloring, painting, and creator. Check me, my art show.
When you gave your speech today, what did it feel like?
Happy.
Made you happy?
Yes.
What do you think the audience thought?
Like it.
What was unique about today is he was extremely connected to the audience and connected to people. Art is not just therapy, it's also a doorway into seeing into someone's soul, their personality, and their potential. And that's why I love so much what Peace Love is doing. It's obviously really apparent in Devin's work that is his vehicle for speech.
Peace.
Speech, for telling your voice.
Mm-hmm.
This conference is all about taking risks, and it's opening yourself up, a very vulnerable part of yourself, just letting people experience your world a little bit.
So last year when I walked out on this stage, I had no idea if Devin was going to speak or not that day. You see, our rehearsal didn't go very well that morning, and he was not engaged, and he was talking back there, and I was like, the audience is this way, and his mom, leave me alone. It wasn't well. But as you saw from that video, that's not what happened, and he transformed. So last year, the name of our talk was The Boy Who Spoke Through His Art. So this is the continuation of his story. So obviously, he was pumped after that event. And Jeffrey and I are sobbing in each other's arms in the back room, and Devin's running around like Rocky because he knew he did it. And I remember so clearly, we were coming back to hear the rest of the storytellers, and we were walking out that stage door, and he stopped. And he turned to me, and he gave me that half smile, Harrison Ford half smile, and said, Mom, we did it. And I said, no, buddy, you did it. So we came home, and that pride and joy just kept going. And if you remember the graphics from last year, he painted this for Jeffrey and all of Peace Love, and he sent it to Jeffrey and said, thank you for believing in me. And you see that in his face. And just when we thought it couldn't get any better, the video came out of his talk. And here he is watching the video for the first time, and you can see the pride in his face. But what happened about that was so much more. The community, our friends and families and neighbors all saw it and would come up to him and say, Devin, I saw your video. And he goes, yeah. And there was this instant connection, and people were so proud of him, and he was so proud of himself. And amazing things were happening. I was having strangers come up to me and go, hey, you're that mom. You're that mom that her son talks about his art. And I'm like, how do you know this? And it turns out a bunch of the school districts in Minnesota were using the video to teach their teachers and their paraprofessionals. So the word was really getting out. That story has become very popular. But not everyone saw the video. And Devin is still in transition, which is the school district can keep a child through 21 in special ed. And so he's been with these special ed kids for maybe 15, 16 years. And every Monday they have sharing time. And so they go around and they talk about things that have happened to them or anything that they want to share. And one day they got to Devin and one of the girls said, "Let's just skip Devin. He never has anything to say. He can't talk." And the teachers were mortified. So the next day they made everyone watch the video. And the kids were like in awe that they had no idea he had so much to say. So my favorite stories though are when my women would call me or I talk to me and say, I love that video, but my boyfriend or my husband was sobbing like a baby. And if any of you were sobbing last year, thank you. That makes me so happy. Not because I want grown men to cry like a little girl, but it means that the story has resonated with people. They finally understood how hard it has been for him and the struggle that he's had and how every day is a challenge. So we had all these great highs and jumping for joy and all these things. And I said, okay, now I got to figure out what to do with him. Where is he going to go next? So I sent this video to a bunch of the art colleges in our state and said, hey, who wouldn't want this kid to be in their program, right? So unfortunately, the responses I got back were, well, that's great and everything, but we have a really competitive program and we really don't have any adaptations and we don't really think he would do well here. And on my third rejection email, that very same day in a couple of hours, I got a different email from Bill. And Bill was someone that I didn't know, but my good friend and colleague Dick Nash said to me, AJ, I saw Devin's video. You need to talk to my friend Bill. He runs Art Force. You need to talk to him. Okay, why? Just talk to him. Okay. And it's those wonderful acts of kindness that people have done for us from that video that has really changed his life. So Bill's email was, I watched his video. That was the most amazing thing I have ever seen. I am making my entire company watch the video on Monday morning, and we are going to come up with a plan for Devin. Okay, I don't know you, but this sounds great. So when I sat down later on and talked with them, they run Art Force, and they take local professionals and they work on placing and selling their art throughout the community. And they have a special program called the Wings program that is for challenged artists that have health or mental health disabilities. And so they wanted Devin to be in the program. And so there he is in front of some of his art. And very excited to show you his art. So they've digitized all of his work. This is a bunch of his work that they've blown up and made bigger, and they're selling it to places all around the community. And not only is he an artist for the company, he is also a spokesperson for them. So I think it's really ironic for a kid that was told he would never talk, and he generally says maybe 6 words a day, that now he's a professional speaker. Which is usually most people's number one fear of their life, and he barely has the words to put forward, and he wants to do this. So here he is signing this art, and not only is this great, but he can't really make any money. Some of you understand this. If you will lose your funding if you make too much money. So the money that he would make, we wanted to go back to charity. And we work a lot with Fraser, which is an autism therapy place in Minnesota, one of the premier. And so we've asked all the money, or most of his sales, go to Fraser to fund their art therapy program. So it's a perfect circle. He makes art and autism, and then it comes back to help other kids. It's great. So here he is at the Walk for Autism for Fraser at the Mall of America, and they had him selling his artwork there. So there he is, setting up his booth, selling his artwork. And before the event, they asked him to go on live TV, to promote the Autism Walk and show some of his artwork. And I did no prep for him, and it was really exciting. He did great. He threw the anchor off a little bit, but he did great. And he did such a good job that the Mall of America said, Devin, you worked so hard, we're going to give you free tickets to Nickelodeon Universe. And so he got to go on the Ferris wheel, on the merry-go-round. So, really tough day at work, right? Poor job satisfaction there. So I still had the problem of what do I do with him? Where does he go on a daily basis? Where does he go every day to make his art? And luckily, I went back to the team at ArtForce and I said, I don't know what to do with him. Can you help me find a place? And they work with a bunch of different places that do art therapy and services throughout the Twin Cities. And they said, you really need to look at Interact. Interact is a great program, and we think Devin might be a good fit. And so I love that they call themselves their Center for Visual and Performing Arts. Everyone there is disabled, but they don't say that. And they focus on theater and all these different types of visual arts programs. So we went and toured, and he was so engaged, and he would introduce himself to everyone. But you can't just say, I want to go there. You have to get in. So we did an immersion day, and this is kind of a check. Does it work for him? Does it work for the center? Is this going to be a good fit? And here he is with one of his teachers cleaning up. And on that day, he made this Amazon guy, which I thought was pretty cool. And then he made this wonderful painting about a spring, and he had a great day. My favorite email was what I got maybe 2 days later from the director and said, we are all crossing our fingers that we hope Devin wants to come here because we would love to have him. And we so hope that he wants to come. You don't get emails like that. Jose and his mom do not get emails like that. They are a rarity. And that tells you how powerful it is when someone transforms and finds their voice, what they can do. So one of the questions I've had is, what happened on stage just because we were all like, what just happened last year? Because he transformed. The difference is you. It's the audience. You listened. You were engaged. You have a job to do. Your job is to, number one, listen, find empathy, care, and then act. And it was those acts of kindness that we've had throughout the year that has transformed him. I see this all the time, the saying, different. You look at him there's something not quite right with him. Does not mean less. But I really think most of the time it means much, much more. Thank you so much for doing a great job. Who knew so much good could come from just telling your story? Devin has a ton of new artwork. I'm done talking. He's dying to get out here, so let's get him out here and show some of his work.
Hey, buddy. I bet my name's Devin. I'm an artist. See what I mean? Show my art. That's it. Shadow a puppet. That's a dog ricketing. Planets and stars. I make circle like planets and darting like stars. That's a bush tree full frost and make black on the floor. There's a rubber baby. There's a crazy party, and try to grab. This is my home and make windows. Silly Billy, I built them. Make it. I'm making myself. There's a percent of cookies from Salvador Dali. The white tree on road. There's a Devin tattoo. It's a dino evolution machine. Raptors transform to a bird. There's a blue spider. I let it be Devin's to animal like Brachiosaurus at the library. This is a Hawaii shirt. There's a really piece of a sky. There's a steppy turtles. I have 4 turtles. There's a bubble seashell. There's a woolly skeleton. There's a wine and palm trees. There's a flower and an apple. This is a saffron meat from my brand. This pterodactyl in the toilet and rock statue. Wholesale Salvador Dali with a flower in the egg. There's an egg, ghost of a shadow. There's a command Devin. Step as I command you. There's a sunset and dark trees. I'm making a black. It's a little red gorillas. And with hair on it. There's a Chinese dragon with 2 tongues. Piece of art. This for Jeffrey. Jeffrey? Jeffrey? Oh. I'm going to you, Jeffrey.
Hey, come on out. Come on out. Come on.
He's the man. Wow. Devin, thank you very much. AJ, thank you so much, and congratulations on all the success that you guys are having. And Devin, you are a role model, my friend. You are the man. Thank you. Give it up for Devin.